Nikki Wagner.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. This Heritage New Zealand Pouhere Taonga Bill replaces the old Historic Places Trust Act of 1993 and it updates and better equips the New Zealand Historic Places Trust to meet the challenges of the 21st century. And together with Supplementary Order Paper number 135, it responds to the challenges for heritage management highlighted by the Canterbury earthquakes. And I was pleased to hear Honourable Marion Street talking about the need for this kind of legislation with these earthquakes that we're having at the moment. I want to touch quickly on the main provisions. First of all, it reforms the New Zealand Historic Places Trust's governance structure, and I want to make a few comments on those later. And it modernises the Archaeological Authority consents processes and aligns them with the RMA. And I would like to thank the groups that came and gave us really detailed submissions on this archaeological area and also on how the RMA consents fitted in, because it is a complicated and we wanted to know that it worked on the ground. It also clarifies the purposes and changes the name of the Register of Historical and Cultural Heritage and introduces statutory recognition for Wāhi Tāpuna. It also establishes the National Historic Landmarks List, and this list is designed to set national priorities for historic conservation, and that includes details about managing the risk of natural disasters. And finally, it establishes a separate emergency authority process in the event of natural disasters. There are quite a lot of other minor changes. They're there to improve the Act's workability in line with modern legislative drafting processes. Now, most of the changes were non-controversial and it aimed at improving the processes of the Trust. The most debated issue was the change in the structure and the new roles for members. Now, in the past, there was a combination of statutory responsibilities with active branch committees and elected board members. And that meant that there was times that there was actually a conflict of interest within the organisation, and those tensions compromised the New Zealand Historic Places Trust ability to perform its statutory functions. So to resolve these tensions, the bill disestablishes the branch committees, it removes the 3 positions for elected board members and creates new positions for board members appointed by the responsible minister. It does still contain the Māori Heritage Council. Now, there are members who want to actively advocate for heritage issues, and they have been encouraged to join the Historic Places Trust Aotearoa, and that's a very active group that's already set up, and some funding has been provided to help with that process. As a Crown entity, Heritage New Zealand can continue to offer membership if it wishes, although those members will play no part in the governance of the organisation, and that's the real difference. Now, just having a look at heritage buildings, from my experience in what's happened in Christchurch after the earthquakes, I'm particularly interested in the National Historic Landmarks List. It's really important that we have a robust debate in our communities and right across the country to make sure that the country really knows which buildings we value, because after all there's over 1,000 Category 1 historic places, and we need to know which ones we value and which ones that we're prepared to heavily protect and which ones that we can deal with if there is a disaster. We also need to have plans for when or if there is a disaster. Originally that list was to be 50. Only 50 places, although those places did include clusters such as Parliament buildings perhaps, or the Auckland volcanic cones. So it was a larger mandate, it wasn't just 50 individual items. But after listening to the submitters, the committee removed the absolute number. We decided that it was hard to know which was in and which was out, and what we decided to do, it was far better for Heritage New Zealand to consult with the public as it develops its policy on the administration of the landmarks list, and during that consultation it will provide further guidance on how the eligibility for inclusion. So about 50, including clusters, but it's a little bit more flexible. I'm really pleased to see this bill come to the House. It is timely and it will help us protect our heritage for the future. So I commend this bill to the House.
Honourable Tau Henry.
Mr. Speaker, if I can